What's going on, everyone? Grace and peace. Welcome to another episode of the Proverbial Life podcast. So, Turning Point now has homosexuals standing up and lobbying for the cause of conservatism. I'm good. Listen, if this is the type of conservatism that is going to be pushed for the betterment of our nation, where you can have homosexuals rallying alongside of the conservative voice for the betterment of our nation, no, I'm good. Why? Is it because I have something against homosexuals? No, I don't. I don't have anything against homosexuals other than their homosexuality, their sin that needs to be repented of before God. And I say that with sincerity and genuineness, not out of hatred or spite. They need Christ. They do. And just like the heterosexual who's living in sin and is not in the Lord needs Christ, but their actions are anti God. Their actions are anti God. They expose and reveal their hatred and animus toward God by living a life that is contra to his ways, even though they know better. But that aside, this is not conservative at all. The turning point is giving a platform to people who are opposed to conservatism at its fundamental core. We should not be encouraging people who are going astray to bring our nation back on the right course. This kind of hodgepodge syncretism is not good for our nation. It's not good moving forward. Now, people have the freedom to believe whatever they want to believe, but we are not going to give a platform for people who are thumbing their finger to God or pointing their finger to God and but by their lifestyle. We're not going to give a platform to them to celebrate or encourage a lifestyle that leads to death, right? We're not going to do that. And this is the type of conservatism that does not change a heart. It doesn't see when people say, well, but just give them the gospel. Yeah, well, we need a a robust message that can actually change the heart. And I'm for politics. I'm for the Christian being involved and engaged in political conversation because who is the most fit to do so? People who know the Lord and know His will and desire for His will to be done on earth as it is in heaven. Right? That doesn't mean any old Christian. They need to be informed and they need to be using biblical principles, etc. But I'm not for people who are um, anti God virtue their lifestyle to be making declarative statements in the name of conservatism, in the name of justice, when their life is opposed to God's righteousness. So let's listen into this and would love to hear your thoughts.
Approach to voting. Yes, we're going to do election day voting, but we are going to use the tools of the Democrats to elect Republicans. We are going to early vote. We are going to go in person. We are going to do mail-in voting. We are going to do absentee ballots. And we are going to have ballot boxes at churches and gun shows. Two can play at this game. You didn't realize I was going to bring the fire. I'm not just hair, guys.
All right. So what's the problem here? Well, the problem is Charlie Kirk, who is the founder, if I'm not mistaken, or at least the face of Turning Point, is a professing Christian. And again, many of the people in the Turning Point are conservatives, and many of which would say that they're Christian. So why is a Christian and maybe they're not a Christian organization. They're a political organization that promotes conservatism, and if pressed, would say that America is a Christian, or at least its founding is a Judeo-Christian founding or whatever. Okay, a lot of phrases there that we could quibble about, but um, why would someone who adheres to the message of the Bible give a platform to someone, even if it's on the topic of conservatism, when their lifestyle is abhorrent to God, right? Their lifestyle is abhorrent to God. It would be like, okay, if why would you allow someone who is involved in affairs to be on the platform? Like it's publicly known so and so is an adulteress. Well, that sullies your brand. Okay, it sullies your brand. So you have someone who, he beats his wife, or he's, he's a murderer. He commits, all kinds of heinous actions behind the scenes. But you want to win the vote of that segment of people that he's identified with. This guy is a practicing beast beast lover, right? He has sexual intercourse with bestiality. Why would you give him a platform? Well, you give him a platform because you want to win other people who practice that lifestyle. Well, this is what's happening here. The same thing. And you say, well, there's apples and oranges. No, it's not. No, it's not. uh the Bible lists homosexuality and sexual immorality, pornea, that sin of sexual immorality, sex outside of the confines of marriage. It lists them amongst other sins with murderers and thieves and all that, right? But 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 why would you give someone that platform? See, this is the kind of policies and this is the kind of politics that isn't conservative. So no, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Well, that's all I have to say. I want to hear your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on Turning Point and Charlie Kirk having a homosexual? This seems like virtue signaling for me, right? We want as many people as possible to vote for Trump or vote for our representative in the Republican field so that we can win our nation back. But win our nation back to what? Win our nation back to what? If our nation is going to be a nation that, you can believe whatever you want to believe outside of like the Christian teaching and worldview, then what are you winning the nation to? You see, what do you? This is why we need a message far greater than republicanism. This is why we need a message far greater than conservatism, right? We need a message that transcends the weakness of the message that we hear in our day. So I'll leave it at that. Would love to hear your thoughts. Grace and peace till next time. This is the Proverbial Life, a podcast where we encourage Christians to look to Christ, live wisely, and leave a legacy behind for generations to follow. Till next time, grace and peace, y'all.